Welcome back to the Final K and welcome to stage 4 at the Tour Down Under. It's actually quite a lot has happened, to be honest. For once, for the stage that it has turned into, or for the profile it has turned into, I am surprised with the amount that has happened. So there's 39.2 kilometers left. The breakaway is 17 seconds up the road, shortly about to be caught. But just to give a quick recap of what has happened, so Narvaez has crashed. He is out of the Tour Down Under. He was sat in second for GC, 6 seconds behind Jay Vine, and he is now out of the race. After that, the breakaway, which consisted of Remy Cavagna, Matthew Greenwood, and Luke Plapp, they hit Chandler's Hill, which was the first categorised climb of the day. It was a Category 1. So it was. It's 12.9 kilometers long with an average of 2.4%. Remy Cavagna took the win on that with 10 points. After that, there was about 30 kilometers that they started on the circuit for the laps around Wollonga Township, and just before they hit the first climb in Wollonga, Jake Stewart crashed. So he did, and then there was another big crash which resulted in Danny Van Poppel and Vegard Steek-Lagan from UAE. He has pulled out as well. So after that, Matthew Greenwood took the 5 points in Wollonga. It's 1 kilometre long with an average of 3.5%. So yeah, 2 crashes. There's been a lot going on. The peloton is flying. The breakaway is flying, and it's a very nervous peloton. You can actually feel the tension whilst you're watching it. Well, you could. I think it's sort of settled down a bit now, but they're flying. I think the breakaway earlier was doing, I think it was 59 kilometers an hour. That was the speed the breakaway. There was only 3 of them in it. That was the speed they were doing. The breakaway hit, I think, where did I see that? It's the second furthest a breakaway has ever got in the Tour Down Under. I think it hit around 3 minutes 30 seconds. So, and it's just the peloton have just stuck the head down and decided to fly, and now there's 10-second gap. So it's went from 3 minutes 30, the second longest or the second furthest ever Tour Down Under history, and it is now down to 10 with 37 kilometers to go. So yeah, that is the recap out of the way. As you can see on my screen is the GC standings. I've removed Jonathan Narvaez from them as he is no longer in the race. So nothing changed from yesterday. It was a sprinter stage. Sam Welsford won it. He finally got his win at the Tour Down Under this year, and he could potentially get another one today, seeing, as you can see in the bottom right of the screen, the new profile. Compared to the original profile, this one is a lot different. Seeing Wollonga Hill has been removed the 3 times we were meant to climb it. You can see there at the very end of the profile there is a slight climb. That is the Wollonga climb in the middle of it, the one the arrow is currently over. So that is the climb that they do at the very end of the race. I think it is, yeah, like I said earlier, it is 1 kilometre long and it has an average of 3.5%. So that gets me on to my favourites for the day, which I do need to change a few. But yeah, Danny Van Poppel needs to leave as he has crashed. And I don't think I'd be putting Ethan Vernon in it. I think there is quite a lot of opportunity for the likes of, Jay Vine. Even he could get a run out at the stage today. There was a couple others that I had seen. Let me find them. And they're gone. But there was Jay Vine and I can't remember who the other person was I've seen. Give me 1 second. Why is nothing loading? Everything's freezing. Right, I think my pro cycling stats has went down. But the gap is still at 10 seconds and there's 34.9 kilometers to go now. Right. It just freezes every time I click on that button. We'll give up on that, but I know Jay Vine would have been a favourite. And was it Finn Fisher Black? Could have been, but I think I've already got him. I've got him on my list, but yes, they would be my favourite. I am currently looking and favouring Tobias Lund Anderson at the moment, the sprint jersey. We'll get that up now actually. So this is the new sprint jersey. Tobias Lund Anderson is still in first position with 55 points. Sam Welsford is bumped up to second with 52, and then there is a large gap down to Matthew Brennan and Lewis Bauer, however you pronounce that. Danny Van Poppel shouldn't be on that list. He has been, he's pulled out, so he has. So that needs to change. I did it all. I got home from work and I changed everything, and then I changed everything with about 90 kilometers to go, and then all the that big crash happened. So yeah, pretty pointless changing it. But let's have a look at the mountains jersey, which also needs changed. I think the virtual mountains classification is a lot different. I know Ernstrad is now up to 43 points. He took 2 points at the first categorized climb, the category 1. And I think Remy Cavagna and Greenwood have moved up into 5th position. So they have. So that is the only differences in that. I think there's 26 points. There's 36 points remaining up for grabs, and I think 26. There's a 26 point difference. Yeah, let me add that. Yeah, 26 point difference between Renderink and Ernstad. So Renderink will need to go in the break tomorrow and pretty much win every hill or mountain. Moving on to the youth category. That is what it's looking like. Michael Leonard leading it. My favourite for it, Pavel Novak. He is currently in 3rd, 1 minute 20 down. Or sorry, 1 minute 21 down. And I also looked at Menno Husing as well. I was going to pick him as my favourite, but I went with Pavel Novak. So he's currently sitting 4 minutes 15 down. But Michael Leonard, Michael Leonard of AF Education, the Canadian writer, he is sat in 1st along with Andrea Raccagni Noviero. Apologies if I pronounced that horribly, but they are both tied on it. But Michael Leonard is wearing the jersey, so he is. But yes, it is now just currently a flat ride out, or a flat, as you can see past the arrow, it is just flat to the finish until that final Wollonga Hill. So yeah, you've got me for another 31.7 kilometers. I'm sure everyone watching is buzzing, you know, all 0 of you, but I wanted to, I think stage 5 is tomorrow, so I'm gonna be streaming stage 5. But yeah, I wanted to stream every stage because I wasn't expecting. I had a feeling no one would join, and I wasn't expecting anyone. Oh, apologies! I wasn't expecting anyone to join, to be honest. But I just wanted to get the first couple live streams out of the way. You know, I may do the Cadell Evans depending on what morning it falls on, you know, because Australian times are a bit weird, but depending on what morning that falls on, I could be doing that. But after that, I'll be doing every other world tour. I'll be doing every other world tour race, so I will. But I think the next one after that is UAE, but I didn't really want to have my first couple live streams as the UAE. I would rather have got it out of the way in the middle of the night with the Tour Down Under. So yeah, the first couple live streams under my belt, I'm feeling a bit more confident on it. So yeah, I think it's just from now to the finish. What do I talk about? That is the main question. So there's 30.3 kilometers to go, and the gap now for the breakaway is actually increased. It's went from 10 seconds to 19 seconds. And where was the thing I seen of everyone who has dropped out of the Tour Down Under? There it is there. Flip me. Jake Stewart dropped out as well. That's new. I didn't see that. I'd seen he had went down. I'd seen he had crashed, but I didn't know he had dropped out. So, yeah, the main riders that have dropped out of the Tour Down Under are Leonard Van Aert. Well, never mind. The main riders that have dropped out of the Tour Down Under so far, we have Leonard Van Aert, we have Jonathan Narvaez, we have Jake Stewart, and we also have Danny Van Poppel. So yeah, they're the main four that have dropped out. 3 of them have crashed today and they're not finishing the stage. Van Aert obviously didn't start yesterday's stage, unfortunately. But yeah, I think for the teams with the most dropouts, you're looking at UAE. They have 2 dropouts. Lotto Intermarché also have 2, and then Red Bull, Bahrain, and Shooter Pro Cycling all have 1, as well as NSN also have 1. So UAE with Jay Vine on the last stage, down 2 riders. How could that? Can he continue the 1 minute advantage he's got on the rest of them? Most likely. Will he win the Tour Down Under? Most likely. And will he win tomorrow's stage? Most likely. I think the Tour Down Under, before it started, it had UAE written all over it, and it is finishing with UAE written all over it. Obviously anything can happen tomorrow, but if everything stays as is and no one crashes tomorrow, everyone has a smooth sailing race. You know, you're looking at another UAE win, which is unfortunate for some to hear. So the peloton has leveled out. They're now just one big line across with all the different teams sitting, waiting for... I don't know what they're waiting for. They're just all pulling. They're all getting positioned. You know, final 28 kilometers. They're all trying to find good positions in the peloton, getting ready for the sprint, slowly bringing the breakaway back. Luke Plapp and Greenwood are the 2 that are still in the breakaway. Remy Cavagna dropped a couple. I think he dropped about 5 or 10 kilometers ago. That's a lie. He dropped about 25 kilometers ago. But yeah, it's good to see 2 Australian riders out in the breakaway on their own. I need to set up a bit. Oh. I think the sleep deprivation is currently, or it is, see, I can't even speak. It's catching up on me. Like, I think I got 5 hours last night. Which, you know, I'm sure people get more than me, but 5 hours for me isn't good. So my head was pounding earlier. So got the good old paracetamol into me, and it has actually went away, which is thank God it has went away. But But yeah, I just gotta keep drinking water. Water, mate. I think I said at my preview that Wollonga is probably the most Australian sounding word possible. If you think of an Australian word and someone says Wollonga, you go, do you know what? Fair play, because Wollonga. Crikey, mate, Wollonga. That's so they're showing here on screen Richie Port crossing as the king of Wollonga Hill. This is Richie Port now. Actually, I've just clocked. I thought it was a replay, but it's actually Richie Port now. They've got him riding up the. They've got him riding up the Wollonga Hill in the town there right now. The king of Wollonga Hill. So we're slowly coming up on Aldinga Beach. Honestly, like, see all the names of towns and places in Australia. who came up with them? Like Aldinga Beach, Wollonga. What was the ones yesterday? The ones yesterday were alright. I think it was. No, I'm really not backing up my argument well here. I can't find the names of other places. And so the yawns start. But yes, I think it is safe to say Ernstad is winning the King of the Mountains jersey. And I think it's pretty safe to say that Jay Vine could be winning the Tour Down Under. They just said there Narvaez got stretchered off. I didn't know that now. I didn't know it was that bad of a crash. I think he was the only one that crashed as well. It was just like a solo crash. I thought he would like crashed and then he would have been like, right, come on, you know, we need to keep you. Don't ride the rest of it. Just get in the car and let's go. But I didn't know he was stretchered off now. So hopefully he is all right. See, I actually noticed that when I was doing my previews, because I looked at the past winners and the gaps, and you know, 2025 is Narvaez de Roma was 9 seconds. 2024 Williams de Narvaez was 9 seconds. 2023 Vine de Yates was 11. Richie Port de Ulissi was 25, and MP de Port was 13. So I was expecting like a close race this year, but no, fuck me. UAE. And that's stage 2. I still can't get over Adam Yates just jumping at the front and pulling at the pieces. So it was actually very surprising to see that the time gap from, well, I suppose first to second it would have continued, you know, with Jonathan Narvaez. If he had stayed that, it would have continued, and because Narvaez was 6 seconds behind, but now he's pulled out and Mauro Schmidt is in second, and it's in 1 minute and 5 seconds. Sudak Quickstep at the front here, pulling. At the moment, they'll be pulling for Alberto Danesi. Oh, I need to change that. So I do. I need to change the weatherman. Wollonga. I actually turned around and looked at the weather there, and I was shocked to see 41 degrees. Is it the same? Yeah, it is. 41 degrees. I thought it would have changed. I forgot they're both in South Australia, so it's currently 41 degrees there. No wonder Wollonga got called off with them fire concerns. I can think anything worse than cycling in that heat. That would kill me. But just 24.4 kilometres to go. The gap is now 8 seconds. Sudak Quickstep pulling at the front. They'll be pulling for Alberto Danesi. or Denise, or however you pronounce it. I think it's Denesi. So yeah, well done to Matthew Greenwood and Luke Plapp. Good ride, good ride. But unfortunately, the peloton is about to swallow yous whole. So we've got 0.5 kilometers to a little intermediate sprint, which is the first intermediate sprint that the peloton will actually be. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. Stage 1, the first one. Narvaez's got it. But this one will be the first one we'll get to see the sprinters going for it. So I wonder who is going to go for this one. Let's get the points classification up. There we go. So as we come up to the intermediate sprint, we've got Quick Step still at the front. 0.2 kilometers to go. EF Education are behind them. Uno X. So our Quick Step is launched. Maro Schmidt is actually on the right hand side. Ricania from Sudal Quick Step is it? Maro Schmidt is in behind him. Oh, I didn't even realize it's Ricani. So that means right. Okay, so that's a white jersey. If he finishes in the bunch and doesn't crash or anything for the peloton, he'll take the white jersey. So fair play to him. I don't know why I thought it was Alberto, but yeah, fair play to him. That was a good sprint. Beat Maro Schmidt, and he's currently and virtually in the white jersey. So fair play to Ricani. Pardon me. Oh. I've noticed it when someone wins something, there's a celebration video that pops up, and it is some of them are really, really fucking awkward. Like, so yeah, the sprint was actually very good. Finally, a bit of excitement amongst the GC riders in the middle of a stage. So Alistair McCallar from EF Education got third, Maro Schmidt got second, and Ricani got third, which puts Ricani virtually into the white jersey, which is good for him. He also got 3 points for the sprinter's jersey, which means fuck all to him, but there you go. Pardon me, sorry. Right, let's go back to the stage favourites and let me customize this a bit, because I will get rid of Danny Van Poppel. And I will add J Vine. That was the other one, I remember now. So the other one was, I'll get rid of Ethan Vernon and I'll add him in. To be honest, I don't know what their 3-letter abbreviation is, but for Jayco, we have got Maro Schmidt as a favourite. See, shocking for myself. Brighton to Wollonga. Another rookie mistake. So I've had that along the bottom the whole time. You actually kidding me? So there is currently 20 kilometers left, so that's much better. A lot better. I think when you're streaming, it's very weird because you want everything to be perfect, but who's it been perfect for? It's been perfect for no one. So it is sort of weird talking to yourself because I'm talking as if there is an audience, but there's literally no one here, so I'm just talking to myself. So, but it's good practice. So it is, just in case one day you do end up with a couple of viewers. But yeah, it is. It's a weird feeling. So it is, very weird feeling. It's hard to explain. What's wrong with my mouse? Right, so exactly 20 kilometers to go now, so the race should be over in about half an hour. I get to go to bed early, thankfully, because I was sort of dreading staying up tonight, with 0 people watching, and staying up to 5:30, 6 for Willunga Hill. I don't know, obviously I wanted to watch the stage, but staying up for that. But it had to be done. It would have had to be done. I'd have been knackered, I'd have been wrecked, but as you can see, I'm knackered now. But yes, 19.3 kilometers to go. They're actually picking up the pace. So they are. I wonder if it will tell me the average speed. Yeah, 45 kilometers an hour is what the speed is at the moment. So Ricagni actually moves up to 6th in the virtual GC overall. So he's 1 minute 19 and he's 3 seconds behind Andreas Kron. So fair enough. So that's what the top 20 is looking like. Ben O'Connor is in 12th, 128 down. That is a massive shock. I was expecting a lot more from. Well, I say that today could have been the day that Ben O'Connor, but I'm actually surprised he dropped that much on stage 2. So I am. But he is the only other. We've got Javier Romo, who's on the same time as Ben O'Connor. We've got Filippo Zana on 10th, who's the same time as Adam Yates, 1 minute 23. I can't deal with the yawning. I cannot wait to sleep tonight. Right, so as I'm going up a short incline, I think if I was to go up this in person, it's not even categorized, but if I was to go up this in person, and especially in this heat, this is a very steep incline, to be honest. I'm surprised this wasn't like a finish or something like that. Would have been interesting. 18 kilometers to go now. Well, 18.2 kilometers. Visma on the right hand side of the road. Tim Rex at the front. He's been a brilliant domestique for Jumbo Visma. Always at the front of the peloton and always pushing really, really hard. How old is Tim Rex? How old is he? $21. So yeah, fair play to him. Doing a lot of work at 21. Yeah. Done again. I'm a bit confused. It says I have 0 views and the average duration is 30 minutes. I'm assuming that is because there is no one here, but yes, 17.4 conflict. Could be finishing pretty soon here. Just get on my lip. So today, this is today's favourites. Yeah, it was Mara Schmidt soon. Yeah, so today's favourites according to Pro Cycling Stats is Jay Vine with 2,487 stars. Second, Brennan with 2,396. Narvaez crashed out, and then after that, in fourth is Anderson, 1.6k stars. Sam Welsford, 1.1k stars. And then Yates, O'Connor, Schmidt, all in the 500s. Finn Fisher Black and Ethan Vernon in the 400s. But yeah. Who do I think is going to win? I never did a prediction on TikTok or Instagram because I never knew what the stage profile looked like. So I didn't want to make a prediction for someone who has like no chance of winning. So I think for mine, I think it'll either be Anderson or Maro Schmidt. I'm going to go Anderson. I don't know if Brennan gets it. Brennan hasn't had the best of form, so he hasn't. Unfortunately for him, because I've been rooting for him, and I dubbed him to win the sprinter's jersey. But unfortunately, he just hasn't hit the ground running this season. Well, he did. At stage one, there was a lot of potential with that sprint. That's why a lot of people, after seeing that sprint, a lot of people thought he was going to win stage 3, and he was actually, where did he come in stage 3? I need to know that now. Let's have a look at where he got 12th. Flip. He didn't even get top 10. Didn't even get top 10. That's not very good. Unfortunate for him. So we've got 16 kilometers left. No breakaway to chase down now, so it's just all about positioning and making sure you're where you want to be when you want to be there. Lawrence Pethy is also a good one. They're showing Lawrence Pethy on the screen. He's also a good shoot for the stage today. Lewis Bauer, he's another good shoot. He got 3rd yesterday. Let's see how well the TikTok's doing. Let's see how well it's doing. There, look at that. 69 views. Right, this is a feed zone, what looks to be the last feed zone as well. All the bottles are flying over people's heads. What are the other races on today? Well, not today or tomorrow. So we've got The Gran Premio Castellon. Doesn't. What's the start list for this? Quite a lot of World Tour teams riding this. Champousson for Astana's riding it. Michael Matthews for Team Jayco Alula. Yeah, they're the only ones that sort of stick out to me. What's the stage looking like? Oh, great, there's no profile. Another, but yeah, 14.6 kilometers to go. We're coming into Wollonga township, or is it just town? But we're arriving into Wollonga soon. It's been a pretty chaotic race, actually quite a lot of crashes, and the speed that the peloton has been going is very, very surprising for the heat as well, 40 degrees, so I need to move that arrow. We're not there anymore. We are currently sat about there. So we are. Finally got a bit of action with that sprint as well. With Riccagni winning that and going virtually into the white jersey, depending on where he finishes today. And if he stays within the peloton. There's not really been much domination from any one specific team, to be honest with you. There was a bit, coming up that sprint, there was a bit with Soudal Quickstep, but apart from that, there hasn't been much. There was, not a lot of anything else. They won their stage. I think that's them. They sort of wanted to take the day off, but with Wollonga, even though it was going to be really, really hard for them, they didn't really expect to be riding for sprint finish. Well, I say sprint finish incline for the final kilometre, but Ineos are moving to the front now. So Astana on the right. Who's the sprinter in Astana? And I've lost my mouse. I don't think there's a sprinter for Astana. Do they have a sprinter? Aaron Gate, maybe? He's 35. Could he be looking to win in Australia for Australia? Is he Australia or is he in New Zealand? Apologies, Aaron Gates from New Zealand. Apologies for that. Didn't mean that. Take that back. .5 kilometers to go. Not a lot happening, to be honest. I wasn't expecting much to happen today anyway. After hearing the stage got massacred by the removal of Wollonga Hill, I wasn't really expecting much. Tim Torntoit, I can't even say his name. I swear, see, for me in pronunciations and names, I just can't get it. Tim Torntoitenberg, he is the third highest rated sprinter at the Tour Down Under for Pro Cycling Stat points. I'm so happy it finishes early. I can get my bed. I can get because say Wollonga Hill was on, I wouldn't even be live, and I would still have to sit up for another 3.5 hours. So I'm glad I'm getting a good night kip. Not setting no alarm tomorrow morning. Fuck that. 11.8. we're sort of getting teams forming at the front now. We've got UAE on the left, Decathlon just to the right of them, then there's Ineos spread along the middle. We've got Visma beside them, Picnic Post, surprising. I know I've just noticed there as well, surprising appearance by Movistar as well at the front. Astana's on the right, NSN's on the right, EF Education's on the right. Sorry, I take it back, Decathlon isn't to the right of UAE, that was Bahrain. But yeah, 11.2 to go, not a lot to talk about. Got a video coming out soon. Don't really want to spoil what it is, but it is a good one. So if you have watched this far on replay, fair play to you. Thank you for doing so, but there will be a video coming out soon. I need to finish editing it tomorrow. Tomorrow on Sunday it should be out, but then I will also be doing a recap of the Tour Down Under. So I will. I can't stop yawning. Oh, I can't stop yawning. .2, we're coming into the final 10 kilometers. Actually, need to change that. So there we go. We're into the final 10k coming into Bolunga. Who is that attacking? It looked like he was attacking from the peloton there with 10 kilometers to go after being in the breakaway all day, but no, he's just accelerating to the front of the peloton out for a bit and then positioning himself and dropping back in. I wonder if there will be an attack, actually. Wonder if there will be an attack. Hopefully there is. Spice things up a bit. All I've done is yawn. I also should add that the reactions to the sprint will get louder. It's just, early morning hours and the house is asleep, so can't really give the reaction I want to give, but I'm also learning not how to react, but how to call out the final kilometre, because a lot does happen when there's a sprint finish. And I think for the two that I've had, the two sprint finishes, stage 1 and stage 3, I think stage 3 was a better one than stage 1, like for me personally, but I wasn't as silent as much. But when someone launches, it's hard to figure out who it is, and it's hard to. They've launched. I don't know what else to say. They're going. But yeah, 8.8 to go. Let's hope my commentary skills are on par for the final kilometre for stage 4 at the Tour Down Under. I highly doubt that. I will work on it though. Can't stop yawning. Oh, here we go. We've got a big bend. Some speed coming in this actually. That was a very nice corner, very satisfying actually. Pardon me. So, where everyone is right now, we've got AF Education on the right, NSN in beside them, Astana in beside them. We've got Trek coming up the middle with Ineos and Visma. We've got Picnic Post to the left of Ineos, and then on the left hand side of the road we have got Bahrain and UAE. So not a lot of team changes at the front of the peloton for positioning. They're sort of finding their positions and they're happy with their positions. Actually, Visma has dropped back a wee bit. I like that. I would like to see Brennan go for this forward. Luc Lamperti for AF Education. That is who will be sprinting. I think for stage 1 I was excited for the sprint, for stage 2 I was excited for the climb and the finish, for stage 3 I was excited for the sprint, and for stage 4 I'm excited for my bed, to be honest. That's all I can actually think about. They're showing Alpecin on the screen here. They're right at the back. Their sprinter Jensen Plowright. The whole team is at the back. They've sort of messed up the timing for that and messed up the positioning. But we could, still 6.3 kilometers. We could see them power their way through the peloton here. Haven't seen a lot of Tudor. Seen them in the breakaway, was it yesterday? But I haven't seen a lot of them, to be honest. Neither with Picnic Post. I haven't seen a lot of them either. But that's us into the final 6 kilometers now. We've got one viewer. Look at that. Hello. If you want to recap, not a lot has happened. In the final 40 kilometers, not a lot has happened. But before that, there was a couple crashes. There's been a lot of people pulling out off the Tour Down Under. But we are now in the final 5.7 with Jayco on the left of the road, NSN on the right. Actually, on the right hand side, there's NSN, Astana, and is that Quickstep? I think it could be Quickstep. Yeah, it is Quickstep. But yeah, everyone's just sort of getting positioned for the final sprint at the moment. It is now just a waiting game. As you can see on the screen, that there is a slight incline at the final kilometer. I think the final kilometer, it is a climb. It's the Wollonga, it's the Wollonga climb in the middle of the stage. You're doing that again for the final, and it is 1 kilometer long with an average of 3.5%. So that is what is happening. Let me. But yeah, it's now just a waiting game for the final couple of kilometers whilst everyone gets in position. My favourite for it is, I think it's Anderson. Yeah, Anderson or Maro Schmidt. They'd be my favourites for it. I need to update that. We are in the final 5k. Showing Anderson on screen in the blue jersey. Very, very nice. They just said there on the commentary that his lead-out man Goodmanstadt is on his wheel, actually. So, could we see Anderson lead out Goodmanstadt? Highly doubt that, but 3.5 kilometers. 3.5 kilometers to go now. The peloton's actually looking fairly small, to be honest. Wollonga Township, that's what it is. So I was sort of right. But yeah, I think the actual winner of this stage is just, I don't think it's going to be any of the favourites. I think it is just going to be some, well, not random, but there's going to be like it is going to be an outsider. But who that outsider is, I couldn't tell you to save the life of me. Now is probably the worst time to need the toilet, like 2.6 kilometers to go. We've got Uno X currently pulling at the front. Picnic posters coming up the right hand side of them. Urenstad on the right of them. A lot of Uno X at the front here. Could we see a little breakaway in the final kilometre? Let's hope. There's Ethan Vernon on the left hand side of the road with NSN all around him like security guards. Apologies. Honestly, I can't with these timings. So yes, here we go. 1.6 kilometers to go. We've got Visma pulling at the front. A couple of NAS riders in and amongst that. There's Uno as well, Uno X. A lot of the teams are looking to catch up here. But there is one straight line. We've got so we've got Brennan and Anderson beside each other. But there's a big long line of NAS riders at the front, so 1.2 kilometers. And that's us into the final kilometre now. It is looking, I don't know what's going on. There's a lot. Everyone's moving off to the side. There's NAS rider at the front. I think it is going to be Anderson. Anderson has two riders, so it's NAS rider, then there's two decathlon and Anderson. There's a AF education rider on the right there. But I'm expecting Anderson to win this, so it is looking very, very good for Anderson. Two teammates in front. Yeah, if he doesn't win this, there's going to be some problems at the decathlon. I think there's Sam Watson in behind him, but yeah, Sam Watson's there for Ineos. There goes Goodmanstadt, the lead-out man. Two teammates in front of him. Anderson can't get it. There's Sam Watson. Ethan Vernon. I took him off the favourites list. Ethan Vernon's going to win it. The British rider Ethan Vernon wins it. Wow. Wow. I took him off the favourites list and he just went and won it. So that's me. Shut up. What a sprint by Ethan Vernon. Wow. Anderson, he just didn't have the power in his legs to get up there. Sam Watson was there as well, but wow, what a sprint. Fair play to Ethan Vernon. So NSN finally got their win. Well, they got their first win. That's their first win as a new team. Very, very good. I need to get the results up. Ethan Vernon wins it. Wow. I really didn't expect that. I can't believe I took him off the favourites. Third place for Pithy. Watchalong Anderson got second. So that's his second place. He just didn't have the bar on his legs. Decathlon, they had about 3 or 4 riders for Andrensen. I think that was Tim Toyn-Turtenberg. The preliminary results. So we've got, I think these are the results. The results for stage 4 at the Tour Down Under. We've got Ethan Vernon in first, Watchalong Anderson in second. We've got Lawrence Pithy in third, Brady Gilmore fourth, and Aaron Gate in fifth. That is the top 5. If you want to go even longer, we've got Eduardo Zambini in 6th, Sam Watson 7th, Anthony Charmig in 8th, Ricagni in 9th, and Gothrat in 10th. Do you know what? Fair play to Ethan Vernon for that. That was a very, very good sprint, but I'm going to end the stream and go to bed. Finally. I wouldn't even really say there was a rider of the day, to be honest. Luke Plop. Yeah, very good. But yes, sorry, we were just talking about the top 10 there. Yes, if you tuned in, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching not live, thanks for watching. But I'm going to go to bed because I'm knackered. So yeah, thanks for joining me for the stage 4 at the Tour Down Under. And thanks for watching the final K. All the best.